The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Partially during our space flight, we landed on an asteroid. Over the course of a few hundred cycles, we had mined out the asteroid, converting its resources into various things that we needed in order to keep 24 dupes alive. We made a lot of automated machines to take, cool, or convert items into other items. We then turned on a machine that would allow us to take a dive into the dreams of one of our dupes. After our first Dupe Dream and Vintage Story, we came back to Oxygen Not Included. We then used our rockets to go to different asteroids. We went to a water-filled asteroid, a lava-filled asteroid, and we also went to a frozen asteroid to get our final crop. After going back and forth multiple times from the water and lava asteroids, we made our last and final endgame materials. While doing this, we also finished upgrading our main base, and also found both the Temporal Tear Opener and the Temporal Tear. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Timberborn. And the main thing that we did in the last stream is that we started adding more power to our network. We also finished the Mega Dam. We are in the works of making it different by connecting this water into here. And then we're going to have this sluice system right here, which are just floodgates. This is the floodgates that allow clean water out to the right. And these right now allow bad water up, and then they go off the map to the left. We're going to move this to right here, following this little creek that we created. So the clean water is still going to go to the right, but then we're going to mirror the floodgates on the left side, which will still make the bad water go to the left and off the map. So we're not mixing bad water with this. And hopefully, with us adding this water into it, we may be able to put more water wheels in here, which allows us to have more power from this. I'm not sure. We only want to see camera, obviously. Okay. Maybe I won't get rid of the camera. One of the main things that we're doing in this area to get this set up is that we are doing the new dynamite tunneling system. And if I can get the right angle, we should be able to see through this. Here we go. So this is maybe halfway through, starting from this piece of wood. I think that's about halfway through. Each 2 logs is another block, so that's 2, 3, 4. This doesn't look right. This looks like an odd number of logs. Is it just me? Oh, the last log here is for this dynamite. That's why it's there. Okay, so ignore the last log. They've gone 4 blocks in, starting from this point that I've highlighted. And it's about... So 4 is about right here. They're about 1/3 of the way tunneled, and then they have to put this in, which will just lower the ground 1 layer. This is where the tunnel's going to end up being, so it's going to make a little tiny waterfall right here. Once we're ready to... We're going to have to figure out how to switch this over before we have a bad tide, and this canal area lets the bad tide through here, because I don't want to block this off and have bad water flowing out this way. Congratulations, Oz, on your 3-stream streak. We celebrate every streak here, unless it's from Regus. This looks weird. Why is it like that? That's gonna bother me if I don't fix that right now, before I continue on the thought process of today's stream. So another thing we did, we also put in this final monument before the final thing. We, I think, set up this third wood farm on the left here. I'm not too sure if we set it up last stream or the one beforehand, but I know we worked on it a little bit in the last stream. We also added the power system going in this creek so that this dam area is also connected into our aqueduct for the bad water. And we're trying to get rid of these in the river here because they don't really do too much. They do better power creation than the ones up here because the flow rate of the river is stronger than this bad water. But compared to these, at max speed, they do almost double what these do. So I'm thinking about getting rid of them and just moving them up here, like migrating them a little bit. These are always going to be here. This is kind of our proof system. So if something breaks or if we break a pole somewhere, we don't lose power. We are also slowly working on raising the water level of this. This water right now in this creek has to go up an additional 2 blocks. So when we put the levees in here, it's obviously going to fill up this creek, and then it's going to overflow, and it's going to flood the land here. Then we'll have 2 little islands in the middle. We then have to go up another tile, flooding this island, and where these trees are above this lake here. We then have to put levees around that, and some dams to allow water to go off the map so that the water floods to a level that matches this water. So it's not going to overtop the land on this layer here, but it needs to fill in it more than just a little bit before it goes off the map. We're working on that. One of the main things that we were also working on before doing that is getting the bad water from here stopped, which we did finish. And we also have to get into here and block this off. We also have to add power to this, and I'm not sure how we're going to do that. That is our 3rd out of 4 monuments that we have to make. We also need to get in the well-being stuff from the scratcher all the way over to the mud bath so that we can have max happiness, because I'm pretty sure we should have everything but food. Now, the campfire on the rooftop terrace is a little annoying because we can't really get that to stay at a reasonable thing because it relies on the beavers being able to get into it before they go to bed. So of course adding more and more of each thing will help increase it, but at the same time it also won't mean that they can walk to the place before the game says that they have to go to sleep. So the distance they are from the things also affects it. It's not just add more and more and things will get fixed. But all of this stuff is what I was talking about from the scratcher to the mud bath. They're just in a different order on this, which is a little confusing. It looks like about 4 people aren't getting near the bell before they leave. That would be because of this path. So I think we need to add another one of these bells over here. They're apparently all getting the clock, and I don't know how they're all getting the clock. These 2 houses here will always get the clock, but everyone else, if they don't go downwards, they're not going to get it. Everyone gets a bush, and everyone gets everything that's on the top of the roof. So we're going to make a bell and a clock over here, and that will fix everything. Bell, clock. Which way is the clock facing? This clock is not facing the right way, so we're going to delete that. We're going to add it back in, only this time I'm going to make sure it's facing the right way. And then, as we do on things that are slightly important, we're going to high prioritize everything. Did I have it facing the right way first time? Yeah, there we go. I'll high prioritize this. I know that there's a faster way to high prioritize things by just doing the drag method, but I don't always do that. Now, we are hovering at around 81 beavers with these 6 advanced pods. So I'm going to actually get rid of these 3. We haven't used them in quite a while, and we don't need them anymore because I'm pretty sure we don't have any working beavers aside from haulers. So any beaver that has this darker hammer is an unemployed beaver. This icon is a hauler as they have 2 boxes on their back. So we should only see that icon for the black hammer or darkened hammer. Which so far, that's all I'm seeing. And now we're into the bots, which should have different icons because they're doing all the other jobs. So another main focus of today is coming way over here and switching all of these orange windows to being this blue window. We started doing that in the last stream, but then we did something that made all of our beaver bots need to be charged, and we struggled getting our bots back up and working. We're also increasing our power. So that could have been a reason why we're getting more bots now, because when you have, if you're making half the power that you're required to use to run everything, your buildings only run at half efficiency. So if we click on something, that'll tell us exactly the fraction of power we're making, which should be like 99%. So if we look at this, it's saying 100%, but that's not true, because each building is going to be at a different percentage, hopefully, or maybe it's like 99.9% completed, and it's just saying that it's the same. But the efficiency should mean that our bot assemblers and bot factories are making the bots quicker, so we should be gaining more bots a little bit easier. So I'm going to switch this over to being haulers. So now when I press play, we're going to have 10 hauling bots that will haul things all day long. This one, until we fill all of these, is going to only have 2 for forever. After that, we'll increase it. Now, since they did all the ones in between the buildings, they can grab these 3, those 3, and these 2. Because they can build diagonally, but they can't build diagonally and over one. That will connect the charging port into our power spine. So now that there's going to be a double power system. So if I destroy this here, it'll still be powered from the bottom. As you can see, everything that's blue is anything that's connected to power. Power does travel through buildings. That's why all these charging points are connected into power, even though the pole is only over here. And we also need to increase the amount of grease we're making. Now that we're at roughly 100% power, we're going to add more in. I was holding off on adding more stuff until we had our power because I thought we were going to be struggling. Now our extract seems to be slacking a little bit. We can hold 1200. So I think we may be getting to a point where we need another extract, or another, what's this called? Centrifuge. Also, why do we have this pole in here? Is that because we were struggling with power? Oh yeah, we couldn't make stuff because we didn't have gears. So this power system right here is actually not needed. Or is it? We were moving the power. So the power is going to be down here. But we needed to connect this in so we can make gears for the power network. So we can get rid of all of this, because the power is right now connected into this building, which then goes through the buildings into this pole, which then connects everything else in. But we're going to be adding power ever so slowly, like this, as they work their way out of here. Actually, we can add in all the power on this side. They can reach all of that. We just have to do it one at a time going out here. I forget why we did that. Why we lowered it. Maybe because we didn't need the path? I'm not sure. But we are going to tell them to pick up all that and put this path back in. And then I'm going to add another one of these that we're going to duplicate. You can also press B to do that. I'm going to make sure that it's on bots, prioritized by haulers. That's everything. Once I see that we're making enough grease that this starts to fill in, we'll stop making this. And I caught an evolved Pokemon. Another thing that we're going to be working on now that I've unpaused this first, put it on the fastest speed we can. We're going to be moving around all of our food and increasing how much we can store. These are the medium storages, as you can tell by the name, but we want to change it to this large warehouse. But first, we need to figure out how I want to lay out everything. As far as I know, all the food buildings, the fermenters, which are right here, the oil press, which is this square building, and then also the food factories we have not made, and the coffee brewery that we have not made, all require power. So we have to figure out how to get power to all these. Which means that the buildings have to touch each other in some way. These don't need power, so they're just going to be there to fill in the corner. So I think what I will do, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need more canola oil production. This takes canola and extract. Right now our canola oil is only for fermenting things and for this grease factory. Still think adding in another one's going to mean that we need more. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add those oil presses because they're the same shape as these buildings here that don't take power. I'm going to add in 2 and hope that that's enough. There's something messing with my eye. Probably, no, it's still there. It's probably a cat hair. For those who are new, I have 2 cats, and hair gets my eye all the time. I think I'm okay. If not, I'll have to turn off the camera and inspect my eye a little bit. Okay, these are all the buildings. I forgot that I placed them there so I could see what they looked like. What would be the easiest to put next to these? The fermenters, we only need 3 of them, and they're a 1x3 building. It's a little awkward to put things that are that skinny next to things that are a little bit wider. So I think what I'll do is I'll skip the oil press and start putting in the no, not the food factories. The coffee brewery will go right here. Oh! I'm looking at this wrong. So if I were to place this in, it would have to be like this. Which means that it would actually be better to place next to the food factories rather than the oil press. What I'm trying to do is give us space to expand the fluid press, because I'm not sure if this is enough for the canola oil. And what I want to do is not have to delete as many things. So maybe putting the coffee brewery next to this would be better because it's a 2-wide building. It's just 3 deep. Does that mean that I could put the fermenters over here and fill in that space? No, it's 1 off. Trying to think what would look best. I don't know how much coffee we're gonna need, but I'm gonna assume that we need it like 2 buildings. So I'll leave space there, but I'll make the building. Then we need 3 of these as far as I know. And we're gonna need to dynamite more of this hill. So I could easily place this here and then 2 more right there. Oh, I see a better way to put everything together now that that's not going together. That there. 2 of those in there. And then we have our paths, which are going to go like this. This is going to connect around this corner, but we need to dynamite it. And the next thing is, how in the world am I going to add power to this area? Because this is now all blocked off with no way of getting power over. I think instead of doing this system where we put the power underneath the path, I think it might be easier to put the power over top. So I'm going to go like this and this. Oh, we need a platform. The rest is these power things, so we can go down and in. Once that's all built, this is all connected into power, so that should all be usable. We can cancel all these. We weren't going to build those anyway. Oh, and this is just all one layer. You know what? We're going to dynamite this entire little hill area, so let's put in ladders. And if we go up to here, we can dynamite this with a 3 dynamite. I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment. We have 4 different kinds of dynamite. One of them is the tunneling dynamite that, you know, makes a tunnel through stuff. The other ones are a dynamite that only blows up a 1 block depth, but then there's also 2 and 3. They just add in a piece of extract per layer, more than 1. When in doubt, make a billion gallons of coffee. Well, I mean, the beavers, each beaver will drink at least 2 coffee per day. It should be the same as the water and the food, which they do twice per day. And I mean, we have, in terms of liquid production, 7 things of water just to store water. Now, we don't need to have 2 barrels of water. I just did that because I was worried. But in order for us to fill up just 1, we needed a 7th thing of water here. So I don't know what the production rate of this is. We also need to set up everything for being bots and haulers, hauled by things. This is new, so we have not unlocked that yet. We are so... Wait a minute. Before I do that, how close are we to the monument? We can unlock the monument right now. We're going to unlock it. That's the most important thing. That's the end goal for our store. Well, that is huge. I don't know if you guys saw that for the second that I had it showed. This is going to be corn rations. We're going to unlock that. This is going to be eggplants. Did I do haulers? Yes, I did. This is algae rations. And beaver bot. Then we'll do this being the cassavas. This being the soybeans. And this for the mushrooms. So far, we've been able to survive over just 1 fermentation thing. So I'm not too worried about doing more than that. Are they also... Yeah, they finished all the power up there. They did almost everything in here. We just need to keep working this down. Now, another thing I could do, because each time this connects into a building, it's going to do this weird tri-gear system, is I could have kept it the way that it was, where we only have 1 pole in here, but I think I'd rather see the power spine going through here. Okay, also I forgot to put in the dynamite up here. So some of this is not 3 deep. This is, it looks like this is, and this. Then we have an autosave. 2 deep there. 2 deep here. These are 1 deep. And then the rest looks like it's 3 deep. So I'll just drag from right here and cover the entire thing. We then have this, which is technically 2 deep because we're going down to this layer, so I'll put dual dynamite there. And then we cover that section. This one. That one. And I suppose we'll start dynamiting this. How much of this can I cover? I want to see what the largest radius I can cover is, because I don't actually know the math on how far dynamite reaches before you can't. So that's as far. I have to go up at least one there. So let's do this side. Okay, this is the magic spot right here. So how wide is this? 5. Okay, it's a 10 by 10 square. We'll start that, because by the time that they're done that, we would have deconstructed all this and been able to place the rest of the dynamite. They will do that eventually. Why have they not placed in that one thing here? They did. We just need a builder to come over and hammer that. There they go. So now all of this is connected into power. We just can't reach everything yet. And at that point, we can destroy the buildings over here. The next thing is moving the storages of the stuff, which is something that we're working on with the dynamite as well as this. Let's also get rid of all of these blueberries. We have a farm for them, so we don't need them. And I also want to see how they're doing way out here. That's not getting any power supply because the water's not traveling that distance. And now that we're able to get up here, they should be doing the tunneling dynamite from both sides. They have to add in planks for platforms, but we're going to get rid of the platforms in this area. We just continue this tunneling system out so we could see where it would end up being. But I think I want to have the waterfall be within the cave rather than right there. I just didn't want to stop them from doing the tunneling. Also, I think the tunneling is going to automatically push the water down here. How far is tunneling done? We start going down. Oh, they're very close to having it. Oh, we didn't add paths in here. That's why they're doing the left side as well. Let's do that. That should allow them to be able to build on both sides at the same time. So we're not that far off from being done. Which means that I have to start making this into the final product. So we'll get rid of those. Also get rid of these. Actually, no, I was supposed to keep that levee there. Prioritize picking that up. I don't know how we're going to pick it up because I don't know where that's going to go. Oh, it's in the water. We can't reach that one. Now we can, eventually. Actually, didn't want these here. So this is going to be the floodgates. And we also need the same thing up here. We're also going to need to copy this system down here. So let's duplicate this. Yeah, right there. I was thinking about should I double it on both sides, but we won't. And we're going to double this over here as well. Contamination sensor. Did we number these? We did not, because we got rid of the ones that were over here. So, this is actually going to be bad water tide switch 1. So I'm going to copy that wording. we're just gonna add a 1 to the end of this. Because I don't think we can have two things named the same thing. And then this is contamination sensor. That's also going to get a 1 at the end of its name. And this is not going to be number 3. It's just going to be normal. Don't know why we have more than 1. Because for it to automatically make that a number 3 means that we have a 2 somewhere. So anyway, let's go to here. This needs to be... Yeah, we do have a 2. Where is the other... Oh, it's in here. I forgot. We have another system because this is separated. So we do have a 2. Okay, let's bring this back up. Because they're almost done dynamiting here. And how are they doing the dynamite over here? They're doing pretty good. Actually, they finished all this dynamite. Sorry for the loud noise. They finished that. They did a majority of this. This. And this. That we need to add a path down here so they can reach that dynamite that they haven't built in this area yet. And with that one destroyed, they should be able to reach all of that dynamite. We also have a lot of debris here. So let's move that over to the edge. It won't take too long to do. That's close enough for them to be able to reach. Explosives and extracts. So there was a dynamite that got destroyed rather than exploded. Oh. On the other hand, we're on well-being 36. So the beavers are being happier and healthier. Destroy that. Course, pick all that up, and we need to tell them to add in the remaining dynamite that we need. And that threw the stuff in the water. So they'll be able to grab this. They won't be able to grab that until later on. I don't think they can grab an item from 2 blocks below them. They should be able to build everything out here. I think they're building this now so they can reach everything. Alright, how is over here doing? Do we have a full tunnel? We do! So I'm gonna get rid of all of this. We can pick up all that stuff again. Don't know what you're building. Oh, you're doing all this. I am going to allow them to go down here so that they can build everything a little bit easier. And I think, well, once they can go downwards, they can do everything. I'm gonna high prioritize these so they get done. And the other thing we need to do is dynamite in here. I also want to get rid of these. Oh, I can! That creates an overhang, which is what I was looking for. Put that dynamite there. That will create the waterfall effect inside here. Now, I created this levee spot here so that the creek comes in at the same width that it is when it's being created. It's 3 tiles here, so I created a 3-tile canal. And then right here it opens to be matching the other side. They finished almost everything over here, so let's automate this to that, right? Yes. And then it's 0 and 1. So 0, 1. This is also going to be automated to that, but it's the opposite. So it's 1, 0. So right now this is open. Those should be closed when they're built. Then I guess the next thing that we would do is fill this entire middle area with levees, which I guess I could do instead of doing the ladder. We're going to cancel the ladder. We're also going to cancel the this stuff here. We're going to place in that staircase again, but after we fill this with levees. If I place that in there and then just fill this. Then they're apparently coming in through here, which I guess works. And also means that we don't need to connect that path back in. Or the staircase, I mean. I am excited for this. Now this is saying that it isn't working? Automation loop. Oh, it's set for itself. I need that to be contamination sensor. And then we'll be able to delete all of these levees once this is completely built. We really only need the other half of this built for this to be fully functional. So it won't take too long to do all this. They're also doing a dynamite over here, which means that they finished everything that's over here. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so this isn't too loud, but hold your ears. We apparently blew up 2 bots because I didn't see that there was 2 dynamite not finished. So unfortunately those 2 bots are gone now. Connect those in. They still have to do all this, getting rid of the berries. So now we have to put in all the different storages. And the final storages, I usually put them near the houses. So before we put in the storages for everything, we want to fix up this area and make sure that we have everything the way we want it. And one thing I'm thinking about doing is adding the power through here, because we need to connect power into this. So let's just do a straight shot through here. And I guess it lines up with that. Get rid of that path, and then we're going to do a tunnel through here, which they will be able to grab from both ends as long as we add in a staircase in here. They should be more focused on this area. Can I have somebody do this dynamite a high priority? There's only 1 dynamite. I also want them to finish this. And I guess that 1 levee, because they can build this from the other side. Especially if we bring the path down here before we dynamite it. So we'll go like that so they can grab this. Because all it needs is someone to hammer it a few times and then it's done. And I don't think that we are going to finish this before the water comes down, so we're going to lose a little bit of water. And that beaver is now stuck. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to actually put in the staircase again. So I need to get rid of this. put that there. We then need to high prioritize this whole thing. Just waiting for them to add one more lock to that. This is ready, we just need someone to hammer it. And then they add the staircase for the other bot, and everything will be done. I'm hoping that a majority of the water will flood this and then go to the right, but I don't think it will. Let's also start destroying this now outdated flooding system. No longer needed. We can also tell them to pick this up, and since it's closer to what they're using, or what they're building, they should be building that quicker. I'm guessing this spot is bringing that last... Yep. So now we should be getting the water coming this way and coming down our little tunnel here. We do, okay. And that's definitely going to go just right off the map until they add in one more levee. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start destroying all of this and picking up all the debris. It's been a while since we've seen this, the original way it was made on the map. That creates all the debris. We now need to figure out how in the world we're going to grab all the debris off the ground. Once I highlight it all, I could use levees to push it all into an area we can grab from. So if we add paths here, we can grab everything in this area. We're going to need to be able to build up here, so what I'm going to do is this, because we need to put levees right here to block the water flow. And then we can almost grab everything. We can't grab this. Now we can. We can't grab anything in these tiles. So I push them over. And get rid of this idea now. And they can grab all of this if we add a path closer. Should be everything. They should be able to grab everything off the platform or off the edge of the river here. There is a Paris in chat. That's a Gen 1 Pokemon. For those who may be collecting those specifically. This is ready to be built, so we're going to go up to this height, and that's ready to be built. That's ready, that's ready. Are they all ready? They are, except for the ones that they can't reach. Although they can reach these two, I'm not sure why they weren't done yet. Or supplied yet, I mean. I guess I just have them focused on picking up things too much that they're not doing this. But now we have this flooding, which is what we want. We just need to have this floodgate in next so that it only comes out this way. We also need to add the remaining dynamite that we need right here. And let's make sure that they can reach it by putting paths up there. That will prevent it from flooding. We also do have this in. Let's detonate that. I'm also going to put this path back in by doing this. And we want to make a tunnel going through here. That's not what I want to do first. I want to put staircase in here. Which I guess I should have put a little bit closer so we have to use less staircase or less pathing, but shouldn't matter too much. So we grab this, we go all the way through. And if we look right here, well, actually we're on the very lowest portion of the map, so we can see that we're going in a straight line. Now the well-being going up should be because they're getting all the foods. Yeah, they're slowly getting every food. And then they should also be getting... Is coffee up here? Coffee's the last one. So we might need another coffee place. Which we guessed. So we're almost ready to destroy these and just let the water flow through here. There we go. We are now ready to destroy all this. So that will let the water start flowing down that way, but we also have to destroy this. And this debris. So we effectively still make the water come down this way. I want to make sure they grab all this debris before we start putting levees. Actually, what I think I can do... No, these are on paths, or platforms, so the debris would fall under there. We need them to grab that debris before we do anything. And they're still working on the whole 2 levees that we're needing in there. Now this is going to let a little bit of water come in here, which will make this look a little bit more grassy. That'll be good. Alright, what else? I'm guessing they choose to build over destroying or ripping up plants in like their priority system. So this not being done kind of makes sense. We are starting to get a little bit of grease in a backlog. I don't think it's being added to this yet, but we're getting a little bit of grease there. So I think we might need a 3rd grease building. Our canola oil is very low, even though we're making twice the amount now. So I have a feeling we're gonna have to move the coffee thing to a different area. Which means moving these as well. Alright, just because we're starting to get another backlog of these, I'm gonna add in one more. How's our power doing? I know we just added stuff. We went up by about 1,000. Which isn't too bad. What debris are they leaving? These are all logs, so they're probably grabbing planks. No, this is all logs too. This debris, also logs. Logs and planks there. So they're doing okay. But they're probably going to finish picking up all the planks and gears and stuff that we could have had over here before they start picking up anything that's over here that's related to the same thing. The same with the amount of logs that could be waiting over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the priority on picking up everything in here, so that they focus on picking up this debris. And just to make it a little bit easier on us again, I'll also lower this to be in the same, so that they pick this up and we could put levees there to stop the water from leaving that area. Because with this open, if we get a bad tide soon, the bad water will end up coming out of here. Why are they still grabbing from in there? Logs, 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 logs. They don't have enough storage for logs. Let's make a big wood storaging spot right here, just so we can empty out all of our stuff. This looks a little weird, but it's how I have to build it because of the pathing. Now this is going to mean that they're going to cut trees down a little bit more. But once we pick up all the debris off the ground, we can tell them to stop putting stuff in here. And I also want to tell them to high prioritize that, because it only takes logs to make the storage. Building lacks power. What lacks power? The one thing that we haven't built yet. That makes sense. And they're putting in the dynamite in here. Did they pick up all the debris in here? They did! Look at that. Let's put in the levees here so that this is completed. I will only high prioritize them when it says that we're having a bad tide soon. Until then, we're fine for now. And let's get rid of the path in here. Actually, no, we need to be able to pick up all this debris. So let's put that on a high priority, so they pick it up sooner. And then this should start making more power in these 4 things. I think they're making less than this one. Actually, no, these 2 are making the same amount of power. Alright, and they're starting to build across here. That's good. The water system in here seems to be working the same. Oh, we started finally flooding this area, so we're ready to do the next levees. So let's start bringing that all the way over. Then we have to go one more layer above this, which is as far as the beavers can reach from where we have the paths down at the bottom. They can only build 2 tiles, their height pretty much. And then we'll be ready to cut this open. So I should probably start doing it over here as well. This is too high. How far do I have to do this side? Okay, so I need to do 2 layers of levees over on this. So that should be the amount of levees I need in this area. We're also getting to the point where we're almost done the metal in this spot, so I think what we'll do is we'll start using this rather than trying to get every piece of metal from all the different structures. We have maybe 3 left. 2 over there, and then the skinny one that's up here. So I think we'll hold off. I do kind of want them to do this over that. But I don't want to high prioritize it yet, because I want them to finish this stuff. Did they start doing any of the dynamite? Not yet. I didn't even start building this yet. Okay, they are focused too much on picking things up, but they are almost done. So maybe I hold off on telling them to stop doing that. How much are these filled in? They're pretty filled in. It got really cold in my room all of a sudden, so I turned off the air conditioner. Are they unable to grab these? Oh, these are planks. Metal blocks, okay. All of this is logs, however. Except for that also has planks. So the debris that's left is stuff that they're actually not going to pick up. So now they're back to placing in dynamite. For a second I thought that one bot was going to place in everything. Or I mean build everything. So another bot coming from that last dynamite? Oh, it wasn't even placed in yet, so no, nobody's coming for that yet. They did place in that platform, however, so they should be working on both of these now. They definitely are working on that. I just need somebody to do that dynamite there. And I think if we start working on adding in one more set of wheels, we should be able to get more power production here. So we need a double platform here. We need a single platform on the levees. And then we just place in the wheels. And then that, since these are now going at full speed, should bring us... Oh, we already are above what we need. So adding in those will just put us over the top. That's good. We'll have a little bit room to expand. That should stop this from flooding now once it works itself out. There is a Cedra in chat. There we go, it worked itself out. That is going to mess with the water system in here for a little bit, as it figures out where it's flowing to, because we did just change the flow direction. And if I need to, I might widen this a little bit. I think it's settled down. It looks like it. No, it's doing it again. Maybe it's not completely settled yet. But now they should be working on those, so I want them to focus on this area. so that I can open up this and have this filled in. I could get rid of this debris here, or this blockage, but it's going to flow down here and then back in, so I'm not too worried about that. We do, on the other hand, have to make a way to keep all this dry. These guys are kind of almost done this. So I think all I have to do is build something on top of this, and I don't know. So like that. We're gonna move this path like this. And get rid of all of this path. Because we're going to need to build a levee system around this. And how high do I need this? 2 blocks high. Because this is going to get flooded in the future. And then we go here. And then just so we don't have to delete anything in here yet. Actually, I do want to place it here. Yeah, we'll have them do this over time. Toast by haulers, none. What's the difference between scrap metal and scrap metal efficient? I don't it doesn't give you like a tooltip to know what it's doing. Employs miners to extract scrap metal from underground ruins. Innovative design maximizes mining speed. I don't know what the difference between that is, but we're going to unlock the science for it. So now beaver bots work there. We do have 35 unemployed bots, so we are going to come over here and switch 2 more of these buildings over. So now there should only be 20 employed beavers, which there is. How are we doing on grease? We're still not filling it in. I'm seeing extract is still good, but I'm not seeing canola oil. Oh, it's over here. Canola oil is just slacking a little bit because of, I guess, our storage? Not sure. The bots over here did almost finish this. And I'm going to tell them that all of this is the next priority. This is not. Because although this would get flooded by the time that this is done, actually this might be gone by the time they get around to doing this. Each time a beaver comes over to one of these, they take 1 piece out of it. So this should go down to 34. Yep. Wall being of 41. We're not doing too bad. Oh, they can't build up here. And they won't be able to build up here either. Alright, that'll get to 2 edges that they can't reach. I was wondering why they started on this already. I don't know if actually there's 4 bots that should be working out here, and there's 4 towers left. So pretty soon we're gonna have 2 bots that can't do anything. We'll be able to get rid of 2 platforms there. Should be able to reach those now. They can. Awesome. Why is this bot not over here? And what are you carrying? You're carrying gears for this. I'm surprised that you're doing that. That shouldn't be on a higher priority at all. This is almost done. That just needs 1 log. That's for the levee for sure, so that means this person here is the 1 log that they're waiting on for the stairs. Pretty soon I'll be able to break the dams that we have here. Which means that I should probably build a way for us to grab all the debris, so let's go like this. At every spot that we have a dam. This area we should be able to grab. We're gonna have to make a new access point to that. That'll be fine. Then we have all of this. I'm going to make a secondary way to get up here. By using this staircase. Actually, we don't need to destroy that. They should be able to grab everything from over here, right? No, they can't get down there. We'll just go like this. Add a staircase right there. They're almost done all this and the levees. So let's get rid of 2 of these. And by get rid of, we're going to pause them first so that the people take the scrap metal out of it. And now there's only 1 beaver that needs to be over here. So we'll pause that one as well. And as they grab all the scrap, we destroy the building. And the last beaver is now out of here. I'm gonna let them do the levees from down here because it seems a little bit quicker than the alternative. I think I should tell them to high prioritize the other building stuff that we're doing. Right, there we go. This is finished. Let's get rid of that. Pick this up. Get power all through here, so we need to get rid of this. Need to get rid of this path. I know they just got rid of some of the power we put in, but I was also so I could see that this still goes through. Oh, I just realized we can't do all the power at once. so they can do to that spot if I keep an eye on it. They can't do this one. So we need to cancel all of that and give them a way to get in there as they do one at a time leaving this area. And that's how we'll have to do that entire power network. They've done majority of all the other stuff. There's a bad tide approaching, so we'll be able to see how well our new system is going to work on getting rid of the bad water. But it should be set up just like we've always had it, so nothing should be different, really. We are hovering around the exact power we need. This is what I'm trying to grab. So I haven't started building any of that yet. Oh, that's because we placed it in after the dams over here. So I think what I want to do is start putting these on a lower priority. They do this when they don't have something else to do. We have 42 unemployed beavers, so we're going to put another 20 into hauling. We now have no working beavers. We also almost have 100 beavers. So I think since we still have 20 unemployed, we're going to increase this to the max number. And we're going to make sure that this is on the max number. It already is, we just can't get to it yet. Alright, while they're... Oh, they have one more levee to do, never mind. I was going to say while they're doing this, I'm going to deconstruct that one ladder. Or staircase, I mean. There you go. That's finished. While there's nobody down here, I'm going to cut that off. And all of that. And what I'm going to do so that we can get all the debris is move it all... Dang it. I'm going to move it all to over here where this platform is. If I can manage to do it correctly. This is all reachable. Because we have that staircase. And then we place this in. And then this. And we can put this here. So that it can still get down here and grab the debris, and then it can also come across here. But now that this is completely done, we also have the ability of destroying all this. And getting all the stuff back from it. I don't care about the levees that are below the, or at the same height as the blockage. I just want the levees that are a tile above the blockage. That also means destroying this. That beaver bot is not going to be stranded because there is a path underneath. And then we also have this. Congratulations, Gino, you caught a Pokemon that I wasn't able to catch. I think that may be the first time that our roles have been reversed. Okay, that should mean that Majority of our storages are completely full. They're not, but they're getting pretty close. So I'm going to say stop adding stuff to that. Now we should have this entire place flooding. And it is filling in fast. That should start to flood in here, making this a lake. So we've almost finished the fourth thing on our to-do list. The first two things will complete the third thing on our to-do list. And the fourth one requires the second thing on the to-do list to be finished. So as soon as they get all the way back in here, we'll start making scrap metal again. Not really something we struggle with right now. We have a lot of coffee. That's just the coffee that's being stored inside the building, so I don't think we need more coffee. We probably need one more thing of canola, though, because we're not really keeping a full barrel over here. Or maybe we are. But we do want more grease. We're going up to 4 buildings of grease just to try and fill this in. So yeah, let's rethink this area. I think what I can do, because this will be very easy to do, is just switch this over to there. That's the cassavas, which is the first one on the list. Destroy that. We need to destroy all 3 of those. And I actually need a spot to put a 3rd one. In hindsight, I probably did need to destroy all 3. Yeah, I really did need to destroy all 3. Put this one right there, temporarily. We have a bad tide, so I'm going to pause because I want to make sure that our system works. This needs to be moved over 1. We can destroy that. This... Oh, that means we can't make any coffee. I think that through. Okay. That should work. Welcome in, Percuss! How are you doing today, Percuss? I hope your Taco Tuesday is going well. We are getting very close to the end of this game. We probably won't have the final thing built, but we should probably place that in now. Look at how massive this is. And it doesn't require any power. So I'm going to place it in. It does require a lot of stuff, which is also metal blocks. So we're going to run out of metal for sure. We do not want to unlock this as a workplace for the beaver bots, because that means that it will start setting off bots rather than our workers when it's finished. We also need to check on... That's work hour. That's not what I meant to do. This is what I meant to do. We need to add another thing of power through here. Actually, we don't, because I didn't finish that. Never mind. Back up, please. Okay, so our stuff here. Oh, I see an issue already that we're gonna have. We need to put one of these over on this side. Yeah, that could be contamination sensor 1. And what we need to do is put a secondary relay right here. What am I trying to do? This needs to be an AND gate. And this is going to be contamination sensors. I feel like I'm spelling contamination wrong. But I didn't. Okay, so this is going to be contamination sensor and sensor 1. Then this needs to rely on contamination sensors because it needs to not have bad tide in both. This needs to be set up the same way as that, which it is. So when this has less than 3%, it will turn on and send a signal to one of these, which will say that there's no contamination. When this is less than 3%, oh wait, no, it turns off. Hold on. Let me make sure that the bad water comes down here and we can see if this turns white or if it stays blue. Okay, so it's going to be turned on when there's bad water. Which is how we want this to be done. But we also want to increase these right now because later on this might finish being cleaned out, but this might not right away. So I want to make sure that we're safe. We're still keeping up with our power. We're a little bit low, but we're keeping up. It looks like we can add in one more set of wheels, so I'm going to do that. Be there and there. Then we need to continue to power. This goes here. Another one goes there. The reason why we went down in power is because these don't do anything when there's a bad tide, because there's no flow rate of water. These always run at the same flow rate. We don't have to look at them ever. Something we do probably have to look at is the fact that we don't have any bad water in here. We need to increase how many of these pumps we have. And that also requires me to put in a path no matter where, or a platform, I mean. So let's put platforms in here. Since this is doing nothing for us, I'm actually going to delete it for now. So that we can add in another bad water pump here. We're also going to need platforms back here, which means getting rid of a tree or two. And that's not where I wanted these platforms. Those actually have to be 2 deep. But these do not, so this just is 1. Let's put that storage back in, but offset by 1 tile. Make this bad water again. We need bad water for a few things, so I want to make sure that we have that going at all times. I didn't realize that we were running low on it this whole time. How do you not have power? Power doesn't go through the storage? I thought it did, that's why I didn't add power to it, but alright. We'll do that, that'll be more grease. We're not really in need of it right now. Okay, we're getting close to having enough. So what I'm gonna do right now is start to get rid of some of these. Because it looks like we don't need them anyway. And we should have a way to get down here. We do. We have a path that leads over here at least. We'll just go like this so we can grab all the debris off the ground. Okay, they added all this in. I don't know if this is enough for a bad water supply. Hoping it is, but who knows. They are working their way slowly across here to get to the mining area. Power is still about 1,000 low. Alright, let's go back down to height of 2. Add in 1 more power thing. And if I were to re-delete this path, can we reach that? Oh, we can. Okay, good. We are going to stay here and watch this be built because we only need to do 1 at a time. Hopefully this beaver builds it as well. They are awesome. So put that on a high priority. I should probably put the rest on lowest priority so that they do the beaver dam over top of this. This will be a way to make sure that they don't do the wrong thing first. I don't want them to block this off and then we can't add power through here. There's a Skitty in chat. That's another cat-related Pokemon. I think it looks more like a Siamese cat. It's probably the closest resembling cat if a Siamese cat was pink. Once we get to this one, we can do both of these at the same time. We just have 4 more that I have to make sure they do in the correct order. We're not doing too bad on doing this. Alright, we're almost to the last one. these can go to normal now. Because I should be able to build that first, since I made that a high priority before turning the others back on normal. Yeah, you're fine. Okay, soon that will be in, and this will turn on, and they'll be able to use that. This, they're slowly working towards. They should be doing this, which they are doing more. Okay. I want that to be done a little bit more of a priority. And also this. This should probably be lowered to 1 more. So that's at the same priority as the dam. Because it's not as important as the other stuff we're doing. We have the other grease going, we have all the food stuff going. We don't have the debris picked up though. Now we will. We do have a storage thing here emptied. I am going to allow it so that we can pick up all the debris, I hope. Although it does look like we are not filling this in. We are filling it in. Okay, so I think we actually should just empty all these. Which should mean that we just stop putting things in it. Eventually they'll all be emptied. Now that we have our max power in, how many of these are not being used? Actually, it looks like they're all being used for right now. Okay. We can now see the fish in here. The next time we have a drought, all of this should be filled in. What are they focusing on? This needs metal blocks. I think we ran out of metal blocks. We did. So we should have them focusing on this stuff. They should also be doing the 2 power poles here. So let's put that on a little bit higher priority. So we can get this third wonder going. So let's see what this does when the power's added to it. Oh, it just makes the gear rotate. Okay, that's cool. Like, what are they doing over here? Oh, they're adding in the power. Okay, that makes sense. We did go up about 2,000 compared to where we are right now. Let's start adding in all of the fun stuff. So we have scratchers. We have swimming pools. Those need to be on land with the remaining stuff off land. So what I'm going to do is make a square in this corner of the map. I'll place this back in so we have a way to get down if we need that still. Actually, that staircase is not going to go right there. That's going to go up one. This path is going to go up one. Swimming pool. I am going to line this entire area with the swimming pool. We also have the exercise plaza. That is huge. I'll put a couple. We also have detailers. That's not too big. Let's do 6 detailers, 6 scratchers. Then we have the wind tunnel, which needs power. The mode variation also needs power. We could just grab power from this and go up more. I think that's what we'll do. That right there. This right here. We'll go around the building here, just so that we have the pass to get to these. I'm going to assume that we don't need more than one of each of those. The one thing I didn't think of is how power is going to get in here. We're going to get rid of that, and one little dynamite right there. So let's just destroy this for a second. Now we can't get this. There we go, that should be all we need there. Oh, there was a little bit of bad water that came in here. Not sure what caused that to happen. There's a little bit over here too, so I guess it's just a switch over. We should be okay with... Actually, there's more over here too. And more here. I think we're okay. I think that's a reasonable amount that overflowed. Something I'm still not seeing is bad water. I think we need more. So let's put in a couple more of these buildings. Did they get into here yet? They have not, but they're getting there soon. I am going to high prioritize the stairs over the building. Although, of course, the building is important. $300 logs, 450 gears, 30 treated plank, not 30, 300 treated planks. We should have all that. Actually, our treated planks went down. So we're struggling on that because we're using so many. That also should mean that we would be struggling on this too. So let's find a way to increase our treated planks. I think we'll do that by adding a couple buildings over here. I can't add another building in there without cutting off the path for this. So go like that. Of course, prioritized by haulers. We're almost emptied in here, so we can start getting rid of these. I don't know if they started working on that or not. I want that one power shaft started so that this can get back to working again. Alright, so now they're able to get down here if they actually wanted to, but I don't think they want to. Right, let's high prioritize this. That's the workplace. That should get them building that a little bit quicker. We do have more room down here if we want to do it. And we should be getting a small backlog of grease, but it looks like we're still struggling a little bit to hold storage. We're getting a storage, but we're not keeping it for very long. So I think one more of these will do the job to where we actually start filling this in. There is a Nidorino in chat if anyone wants that Gen 1 Pokemon. Now, what I'm going to do over here is add in a liquid storage for the canola oil. So I think it's time that we switch it over. We will tell them to empty this. I'm also going to tell them to empty these storages so that they stop putting things into it, which will make moving all the items over to this area a little bit easier. I also want that one dynamite done. So we need to make an area over here that we're going to hold all of our food stuff, including 2 things of water. We're going to move the water over here as well. Or we might as well just move one, or just not move them at all and just add another one over here. Not sure how I want to do it. Let's start adding dynamite in here. This is so we can do the last thing of all being the Motivatorium. There's a beaver stranded. Why are you stranded? Because that's not there. And there's no staircase out here. Alright, they'll be fine as soon as they get this built in. And the dirt next to it. So our well-being score should be going up now. As they start to build in all this area. This is just now starting to overflow in this area. They built in the other power wheel, so how close are we to our number? We're back to hovering around 1,000 less. I think it's time for us to start working on getting across here a different way. Let's go like this. Path system there. We're not going to bring stuff out. We're going to stop right here with the wheels. Which means that stuff over here is not needed, actually. We're gonna have to do one wheel at a time. I don't think we can add in... Well, we definitely can't add in another wheel because it's going to interact with the floodgates. So I'll have to start putting wheels down here. If we want to add more power. Let's turn that back on. We'll close this one out. That way we have a place to pick up all this log debris. How are we doing on the metal building? We're about halfway there on the traded planks, so we're making a nice amount of planks. I wouldn't say it's the amount that we need just yet. It's at least enough to build with. They're getting a lot of the swimming pools done. Let's look at the well-being score. That's not what I meant to look at. They have the swimming pool. Almost all of them are in there. Food is going up and down depending on what we're looking at there. Everything else is 100% pretty much. Okay. This, I'm not sure why it's not being made yet. That needs metal planks. It also needs gears and treated planks. I think they're just focused on bringing everything over here. Not necessarily anything else they're making. What does all this stuff need? Does it need anything that we can't make? This we'll be able to make. This we won't be able to make because we need metal blocks. The same with these. Oh, these are the detailers. These are the... There are 4 things here, so what I'm gonna do is increase this to 8. And have 2 of each thing. So that we have somewhat of a difference in all of our beavers. I guess we'll prioritize this by haulers because it takes extract. I wasn't paying attention to that. And there's people in the exercise area. This is funny. Sometimes there's no person in there teaching, and they're just in there doing it on their own. It does look like we only needed a total of 3 swimming pools. I'm not really seeing them use the 4th one and the 5th one. Yeah, not many people are swimming that often. This is more than 2/3 done. And I think we're going to take a quick bathroom break as we got to a well-being score of 54. And we will come back to see how much they've gotten done while we're on a break. So I'm going to stay in this scene. Keep an eye on the bad water pump down here in the middle, on the bottom. We have another storage, or 2 storages of liquids. We have the grease factory over here on the left. The building here on the right, which should be done by the time we come back. And then all of the things up here for just well-being. And I will be back in just a moment. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.